previously on Judging Amy.
Amy, I love you. Will you marry me?
Say hello to your son.
But I don't want easy. I want you. What is it? What's going on?
Open the crash cart. All right, get a set of vital signs. Roll her to her side. She's bottoming out. Reduce the epidural.
I have a lunch. Sloan Kettering people.
You're kidding. You're taking the job?
I'm talking to them about a job.
Peter, everything will be fine. I'll be right over. He's a mess.
This is nothing more than an overeager state attorney's office attempt to pull the wool over the eyes of a novice judge.
Is that true?
Mr. Hawkins killed his wife, Your Honor. I'm doing what I can to make sure he doesn't get away with it.
Julian?
Nurse! I need a nurse!
That is so great. Maybe she can come to dinner this week. Right. I mean, if she feels up for it. Okay. We'll tell her how much we love her. Okay. You too. Bye. You're sending Jillian home from the hospital. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can.
Why?
It's a miracle Jillian got pregnant. It's a miracle Walter's all right. It's a miracle Jillian woke up. Why would God stop now?
I thought you gave up coffee.
I thought you gave up nagging.
Anytime I show concern for your health, you call it nagging.
No, anytime you try and take something away from me I enjoy, I call it nagging. Good morning, Mom. How are you feeling? That would show concern for my health.
Good morning, Mom. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like enjoying a rare cup of coffee. And you?
I'd like a cup of coffee and Tahiti.
I see you're going to hear from 2 detectives and a coroner today. And the defense attorney is considering putting the wife murderer on the stand.
Alleged wife murderer.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. It was the one-armed, bushy-haired, devil-worshipping black man with a ski mask. I don't have to be objective.
Can I get highlights?
No.
If I'm not a pain about the highlights, can I get a CD burner?
No.
What can I get?
You can get in the car.
Hey, look! You're in the paper.
Here's your lunch money.
Is that the wife murder?
Putting your lunch money in the back of your backpack.
Your mother can't talk about it. She has to be objective.
What does that mean?
It means that here in America, the man is innocent until proven guilty. And since all the evidence is just now being presented, it means that no one, least of all my immediate family, should refer to the defendant as the wife murderer.
Are you going to be on TV?
I don't know. Maybe.
Like on the news? My friends might see it if their parents have the TV on while they're eating dinner.
It's entirely possible.
Okay, Mom, I am serious. Do not embarrass me.
I'll do my best.
Especially don't do that thing where you run sentences together and use a lot of big words just to make people feel stupid.
I'll try not to do that thing. How long does this phase last?
Until she's 38.
I looked over your test results. Amazing. Your brain scan is fine, your blood work, everything. You're healthier than I am.
Dr. Benjamin said the same thing.
Yeah, right before he gave us the name of the physical therapist.
Did he mention you might notice an increased sensitivity to alcohol and medication? You should be aware of that.
Well, I guess I better cancel that evening of bar hopping I had planned.
No, just make sure you have a designated driver.
So this previously undiagnosed eclampsia, I'm wondering how it came to be undiagnosed.
We've been through this, haven't we?
I think Jillian should hear.
Sometimes we miss it. Your headaches were consistent with being 9 months pregnant. Your blood pressure was only slightly elevated.
And I'd canceled my last 2 appointments, so it's really all my fault.
An undiagnosed medical problem is not your fault, honey. You're not a doctor.
Peter.
What about her feet swelling? Even I noticed that.
Again, that's a common occurrence in the 3rd trimester.
Dr. Miller, I think what my husband is trying to say is thank you very much for saving my life.
I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but I just want to make sure I understand why her life needed to be saved.
Peter, it's what we in the medical profession refer to as just one of those things. Meanwhile, you have a healthy wife and a healthy son. So stop worrying, go home and enjoy them.
I guess it's too late to take back that speech about how I don't believe in gag orders.
Excuse us, coming through.
Out of the way. Come on.
Let's talk about our wedding.
What about spring? Garden wedding in early spring. What could be more romantic?
I love being at Christmas.
I'm serious.
So am I. I've had a big wedding. Believe me, there's nothing romantic about it.
I just haven't done it with the right person.
That's what you said about camping. Besides, when am I going to have time to meet caterers and pick out invitations and all the other bazillion things?
I could do all that.
You.
Yeah, where's it written only the bride can hire caterers and florists and all that stuff?
I'm pretty sure it's written a lot of places.
Look, it's only fair. I want the big wedding. I should do the work.
Well,
You like the ring, don't you?
I love my ring.
And I fell in love with you. How much more proof do you need that I have impeccable taste?
You make a good case, counselor.
Everything okay?
Stu's gonna plan our wedding.
Cool.
Is it?
Wait, you think so?
I went inside to find her a sweater and I asked her to come with me, but she had a fit. She was playing in the swings. Maxine, I wasn't even gone 3 minutes.
How do you know a man took her?
Mrs. Haley saw him through her window.
So you think it was black, but it could have been navy, and it may have been a station wagon.
Yes.
Frank, got a partial plate. This guy said he saw an older model Volvo wagon.
So you can catch him, right? If you have the license plate, you can look it up in the computer in your car. You can look it
I
up.
can't run a partial plate now.
Well, you could put out an APB.
And you would be...
Maxine Gray, Department of Children and Families.
How does this a DCF matter?
I placed Cindy with the Zapata family 6 months ago, and Alma took the appropriate step of calling me.
Hey, Jerry. DCF foster kid.
You can go now. I have your contact info.
We'll put out that APB and we'll be in touch.
That's it.
Would someone like to fill me in on what's happening right now? Otherwise, I'm left to think that you're dismissing a witness because you have realized that the abducted child is a foster child and have concluded the case is no longer urgent.
Well, you know how it is.
No, how is it?
Foster kids run off all the time.
You have 2 eyewitnesses to an abduction.
The jogger only saw a car going around the block slowly. It could have been someone looking for an address.
And Mrs. Haley?
Called last month to report aliens taking pictures of her house.
Well, there could be other witnesses.
And you're welcome to hunt for them. But I think your time is best spent calling little Cindy's last 3 foster homes.
Wait just a moment. Just wait a moment. Wait, one moment. Just a moment.
Well, the official cause of death was strangulation, but as you'll see, the autopsy report also notes soft tissue trauma, vaginal tearing, skull fracture, and we've already gone over the toxicology report.
So you're saying that Linda Hawkins was drugged, raped, strangled, and beaten?
Definitely drugged, probably raped, definitely strangled, and definitely beaten.
In that order?
Yes.
Why do you say probably raped?
Well, there was no semen, so I can't be certain, but there was vaginal tearing, and so in context, it's safe to assume rape.
What of this lack of semen?
It's not uncommon.
Because today's savvy rapist is too smart to leave behind his DNA?
Objection on about 15 grounds.
Sustained.
The order of events. How'd you determine that?
Well, the skull fracture was a post-mortem injury. I can tell that because there's no subgaleal hemorrhage, no bruising around the wound, which means the heart wasn't pumping blood at the time it occurred.
So, Dr. Land, in your experience, is it typical for a rapist murderer to inflict post-mortem injuries?
Objection, Your Honor. Dr. Land is not a criminologist and therefore not an expert in the behavior patterns of the, quote, typical rapist murderer.
Your Honor, I'm asking Dr. Land to testify about his own experience, an area in which he is, in fact, the only expert.
I will allow Dr. Land to answer the question with the qualification that he is speaking about a hypothetical situation.
No, it is not typical, in my experience.
So, Dr. Land, in your experience, the typical rapist murderer vents his frustration, his rage in the process of the rape murder. There's no need to beat up a dead woman unless, of course, for example, he's trying to stage a violent struggle which never actually took place.
Your Honor.
Withdrawn. No further questions.
New study shows research physicians tend to experience less satisfaction later in life. Who put this on my locker?
It's a mystery.
I'm going to Sloan Kettering in 5 weeks. You better get used to it.
Okay, but when you come to me later in life complaining of no satisfaction...
All hands on deck. Busload of Shriners with food poisoning just pulled in. Waiting room is full, and oh yeah, there's vomiting.
Yes, I'm going to miss this.
Dude, what is going on with you and Lily?
Absolutely nothing.
My information says you're a liar.
You need better information.
My information says there was smooching.
Boy, dude, be a guy. Guys don't say smooching.
Yeah, well, guys also don't withhold vital information regarding sexual conquests, which might provide vicarious thrills and/or late-night fantasy material for your less fortunate cohorts.
Thank you. This conversation just made Shriner vomit seem like an appealing alternative.
I've had the radio on all morning, and yet I have heard nothing about a missing 8-year-old abducted 3 hours ago.
Maxine, just because it's not on the radio doesn't mean we're not working it.
Meaning you have a few officers in cars.
All the cars. Put out an APB with all the
Why isn't
info
there an
we
Amber
got.
Alert?
You know the stats. If I put out an Amber Alert every time some foster kid took a powder, you people can't even keep track
She
of
did
them.
not take a powder. She was abducted by a man in a car. There are witnesses.
Yeah, right. One old lady who's a known nutcase. Now, isn't it odd she's the only one that saw anything? Plus, I checked this kid's record. She's got a history of running away.
From group homes, she has been extremely happy with the Zapata family. We had to put her in therapy because she was afraid of losing it. Why the hell would she run away?
Maxine, it's like I said, I got my guys looking at it. That's all I can do.
You don't want to overdo it. You're not training for the Olympics.
I feel fine. I really think that Peter is the one who's overdoing it.
Honey, you should take the home nurse and anything else the insurance company will pay for. You got a baby and a toddler. Now, when you think you're going to get a chance to rest again?
Gwen, I was looking at your resume. I noticed that you've done a lot of hospice work.
Ooh, yeah. I had to take a break from that, you know. I got burned out.
I can imagine. I just wondered, did you ever revive anyone? Or talk to someone after they'd been revived?
Well, that depends on what you mean by revive. I've worked with a lot of people in and out of comas.
No, I mean people who died. Has anyone ever talked to you about a near-death experience?
Oh, no, honey. Most of the time when my people saw the light, they just kept on going. Why? Did you go through the tunnel and see your Uncle Fred and all that?
Me? No, I just wondered.
You know, I read this book one time by this English woman. She was a doctor, and she did a big study on that. Turns out, it's just your brain chemistry playing tricks on you. That's all, or your optic nerve or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it ain't God or Buddha or Uncle Fred, no matter how much folks want it to be. Oh, I'll get him. You just sit right there and relax.
Okay, here's the plan. We split up. We each make sure we're seen by the people who expect us to be here. We meet at the front door. We're gone in 20 minutes.
I got a better plan. I'm gonna fake an injury. You can call the paramedics and we can be out of here in 10.
Judge Gray. Stu.
David, how you doing?
Mr. McLaren?
Congratulations on pulling Danny Hawkins. That was a major coup.
I don't think of it as a career move, Stu.
Still, it won't hurt, right? Especially if you win.
I think it's time to change the subject.
So, put him away. LeMay's finally calling it quits. Who did they pay to say something nice about him?
I volunteered, actually. He was a mentor of mine.
Oh, that's great. I'm gonna get us the requisite cocktail so that we can appear sophisticated. Can I get you anything?
I'm fine, thanks. pal of yours?
He's my fiance, actually.
Really? When's the big day?
You know, I don't mean to be rude, but it's probably not a good idea for us to be conversing.
How come?
Gee, I don't know. You're trying a high-profile case. I'm the judge. You don't think there's going to be the slightest appearance of impropriety?
Yvonne,
What are you doing?
fixing the problem. Judge Gray is concerned about the appearance of an ex parte conversation. Would you mind joining us for a minute?
Beats listening to my husband analyze the NFL.
So Stu Collins is your fiancé.
You know what, Mr. McLaren? My personal life is off limits as cocktail party banter.
Well, we can't talk about work. What's left?
Not talking is always an option.
You know, Stu's like a different person since his illness. He went to Sri Lanka and hung out with the guru.
And yet, I didn't hear him asking me how this trial was going to affect my soul.
Would you care for bad Chardonnay or bad Merlot?
See, they ran out of the bad scotch.
I understand it's my turn to congratulate you.
Yes, you understand correctly.
Best wishes, Stu.
Thank you.
Has playing Jesus had any effect on your love life? Do you have groupies following you around?
No, I have nuns following me around. Judas gets all the groupies.
Excuse me, Fiona? I'm Maxine Gray from DCF. Your station said that I could find you here. I'm a big fan of your roving report.
Did you want to say something about the play?
I'm sure it's wonderful, but what I want to do is show this picture to your viewers. Well, if Jesus could just hold this up. This is Cindy Zapata. She was abducted yesterday from her yard on Darlington Court by a man in a dark station wagon, partial license plate JMG. Now, you're probably going to ask me if an Amber Alert has been issued, and the answer is, unfortunately, no. Cindy is a foster child, and as you can see, she's a little on the plain side, and apparently the Amber Alert system is only for angelic-looking blonde children from wealthy families. Well, that's not literally true, but I am prone to pithy, hyperbolic statements when I'm extremely angry, yet trying to behave. I'm sure I don't have to explain that to you. So if you could just ask your viewers to call the Department of Children and Families if they have any information, I'll get out of your way before men in uniforms show up to haul me away. So it's a JMG, dark station wagon, Cindy Zapata. Thanks so much. And thank you, Jesus.
Who was that?
When Danny Hawkins told you he was legally separated from his wife, you had no reason to doubt him. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, no.
I'm sorry, my bad. Did you have any reason to think he might be lying?
No.
Did Danny Hawkins have any plans for the two of you as a couple?
He said we would get married after the divorce.
Did he give you a time frame?
No. He just said he couldn't rush things because of the kids.
Did Danny Hawkins ever say anything to you regarding his wife that sounded ominous?
Objection, Your Honor. Subjective.
Sustained. Try again, Mr. McLaren.
Did he ever say anything to you that sounded like he intended to cause his wife bodily harm?
Objection, leading.
Your Honor, do I have to audition this question 1,200 ways before I get to one that the court will allow?
Overruled, Miss Dunbar. Try a little patience, Mr. McLaren. The witness may answer the question as phrased.
He said one thing. I didn't think much of at the time, but later, after his wife disappeared, I thought about it, got the creeps.
What was it he said that gave you the creeps?
I asked him if his wife was gonna be angry when she found out about me. And he said, "Don't worry, my wife is not gonna be a problem." I was wondering how he could be so sure.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Miss Griffin, did Danny Hawkins ever say anything to you like Don't worry about my wife. I'm gonna kill her and dump her in a landfill.
No.
Did he ever express to you any feelings about his wife?
He said he loved her very much. That they should have stayed friends and never gotten married.
Did you believe him when he said that?
Yes. He would get tears in his eyes when he talked about it.
No further questions?
Okay, here's the deal. Barnes told Simpson that the admitting nurse said she saw two doctors who looked a lot like you and Lily making out outside of OR8.
Well, if there was any making out to be done, OR8 would be the place to do it. It's a very romantic operating room. Give it up, Lloyd. There's nothing going on.
Kyle, come on. Gunshot wound to the sternum. Take over CPR. Blood pressure's crashing. I can't see anything. Damn it. I keep losing the arteries.
Switch with me.
Kyle.
Your goggles are covered in blood. You're not going to find a thing. Switch with me. On 3. 1, 2.
O2 sat to 70%. Suction.
You got it?
Give me a minute.
He doesn't have a minute.
It's a figure of speech. Got it. It's clamped. Let's get a pulse. Stop CPR.
140, he's back. Let's get this guy up to surgery. It's your lucky day, my friend.
Coming through.
Come on, you're not going to give all this up, are you?
Cardiac arrest coming in the door. Wife drove him. No paramedics. Help.
Flip you for it.
No way, pal. We're in this thing together.
No, I can't leave work to drive your math homework to school because you were too busy obsessing about your hair to worry about it. I know. Anyone else's mother would do it. You got stuck with the worst mother on the planet. I'll see you at dinner. I love you. Bye.
Judge Gray.
Mr. McLaren, anything you have to say to me, I will hear it from the bench. Why is that such a difficult concept for you?
I don't think you really want to stop a capital murder trial to hear me apologize for last night, do you? Look, I hate cocktail parties. I invariably end up apologizing to someone the next day.
So you are habitually rude?
Only at cocktail parties. Look, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I really am. That's all I wanted to say. See you in court.
Hold the elevator. Don't make me run.
You were great today.
I got lucky. I had my eyes closed when I clamped that artery. You're really gonna leave me and make me impress a brand new attending position all over again?
Well, who says I was ever impressed by you?
You did. I heard you. You can't take that back.
You're gonna do fine without me.
You ever get yourself hoping for a little disaster? You know, nothing major, just enough to knock out the power, trap this thing between floors, and you can catch up on your sleep.
Every day. Why do you think I'm leaving?
Why don't we go down to the lounge and take a nap? And when we wake up, we'll call Sloan Kettering together and tell them they need to find somebody else. What are you doing?
So there I was,
reading the microwave instructions for my breakfast burrito, naively assuming I was safe from anything so surprising, not to mention job-threatening, as watching one of my employees hijack the morning news.
I thought I exhibited tremendous class, not to mention restraint.
Well, maybe you can explain this to Ernest Throckmorton. If the name rings a bell, it's because it's his signature on our paychecks. Then you can call the chief of police, half a dozen detectives, and about 257 wealthy parents of angelic blonde children.
Everything I said was the truth, and you know it.
Well, we'll have lots of time to debate that when we're sitting on the unemployment line together, won't we?
Maxine.
Yes, I know. Just add it to the pile.
I think you're going to want to see these right away. The people who've seen a dark car with JMG in the license plate. I think we should call the detective about this one. A guy says a dark Volvo station wagon has been parked in the wooded lot next to his house all night. Looks like someone abandoned it.
Like I said, way to hustle.
Come on. God. It's about time. How long were you two stuck in here?
Was it stuck?
Dude, your scrubs.
Oh, yeah. So no, sometimes I'll do that. I'll tie him in the back. But I gotta go. Check stuff.
The last time I talked to her, I called her about 6:30 to tell her I wasn't going to be home for dinner. I was trying to get caught up at the office. And she said she'd rented a movie and she was going to watch that and have popcorn and M&Ms for dinner because she was PMSy.
Was she worried about being there alone?
No, we both thought that neighborhood was completely safe.
Did Linda keep the doors locked when you weren't there?
No, not always. We have a dog, but we don't have a dog door, so we leave the kitchen door open till about 10 p.m. every night, and then Linda puts the dog in his kennel and locks the door and turns on the alarm.
Objection, Your Honor. It may be confusing for the jury if the defendant continues to refer to his wife in the present tense when in fact she is quite dead.
I don't think the jury has forgotten that, Mr. McLaren. Continue, Miss Dunbar.
What time did you get home that night?
It's a little after 8.
And what did you find?
Kitchen door was open. Dog was in the backyard. Everything looked perfectly normal except that Linda wasn't there. I searched the house. I called her cell phone. There's no answer. I called some of her friends. It wasn't like her to go out at night and not even leave a note. So around 10 o'clock, I called the police and, you know, 2 weeks later, they found her at the landfill.
Danny, are you responsible for your wife's death?
I think so.
You think so?
It's my fault that door was open. I wouldn't let her put in the dog door. I didn't want to spend the money.
Okay, so later when you tried to commit suicide and you told the paramedics that you killed your wife, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah. If it weren't for me pinching pennies, that door wouldn't have been open. I didn't kill my wife, but I am responsible for her death.
No further questions.
Cross, Mr. McLaren?
That's a very touching story, Mr. Hawkins. But it's horse hockey, isn't it?
No, it's the truth.
Were you really working late that night, or were you cavorting with your 19-year-old girlfriend?
I was really working.
So regardless of your behavior to the contrary, you still loved your wife and you felt responsible for her death. Is that correct?
That's right.
So your statement right now, I didn't kill my wife, but I feel responsible for her death. You see, I can do that too.
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds.
Asininity.
Try not a question. I'll go for it.
Not a question.
Sustained. Mr. McLaren?
Nothing further.
So you don't remember anything about being in a coma?
No, I don't, honey.
Do you remember anything about dying?
Not really.
Let's talk about something happier that's all behind us now. Who else had a good day besides us?
I had a great day.
What was great about it?
I saved 2 people and I played well with others.
I can't believe Jillian is just sitting there, perfectly normal.
Do you feel perfectly normal?
I feel a little like Rip Van Winkle. Seems strange to wake up to a 8-week-old baby.
But good strange, right?
Yeah. Jillian, you don't have to feel pressured to be relieved to wake up from a coma you didn't know about. We're all so grateful, we're just stupid. And you're going to have to put up with that.
I'm very grateful. I feel a bit disoriented.
It's Sean's car.
There ought to be an ordinance against ringing people's doorbells after dark.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's your mama. Sean?
The cops finally got around to checking that abandoned Volvo. We need to take a ride.
Hey, Maxine.
Detective? Yes, that's Cindy.
I'll call Oma.
No, I will do that.
Maxine, even if we'd have put the Amber Alert out, you don't know that we'd have found her alive.
And you don't know we wouldn't have.
I followed protocol.
I hope you find comfort in that.
I think we should at least meet with a lawyer and see if he thinks we have a case.
What case, Peter? The man saved my life and Walt's. In exchange, you want to ruin his career?
Look, I know that you don't have any sense of this, but I spent the last 8 weeks in hell wondering if I was ever going to have my wife back.
Is suing him going to get your 8 weeks back?
So it doesn't bother you that he almost killed you?
He didn't. I died.
I know. I was there. That's my point.
I was there too. That's my point. I left my body. I sort of popped out of the top of my head and floated up toward the ceiling. I could see you and the doctor and the nurses and Walt, and I heard Dr. Miller say she's bottoming out. I saw the nurse send you out. But the thing I remember most was the feeling. This incredible peace. It was like nothing I'd ever felt before. I didn't mind that I was dead. I didn't mind that I was leaving you and the boys behind. I was fine with everything. It was glorious. And then Dr. Miller shocked me with the paddles, and I could feel myself going back into my body. That's all I remember until I woke up.
I'm sure dying does some weird stuff to your brain.
Is that it? Is that all you're going to say?
I'm glad it was peaceful. What do you want me to say?
Do you believe me?
I believe that's what you think happened. Jillian.
Never mind.
Here's the defense's version of the story. A rapist broke into the house, and instead of hitting Linda Hawkins over the head with his fist or a lamp, he rummaged around in some drawers until he conveniently stumbled across Danny Hawkins' supply of dihipsyl. And then somehow, he forced Linda Hawkins to swallow a couple of capsules. And then he raped her. Then he strangled her. Then he beat her up and took her for a drive and dumped her body in a landfill. Weigh that against this possibility. Here, honey, I made you a Mai Tai. Because I need to knock you out in order to stage a rape and a murder and an abduction. So I can get rid of you and collect on a $500,000 life insurance policy I just happened to purchase right after I went wiggy over a 19-year-old girl.
The jury has been sequestered since yesterday at 3 p.m., and there's no...
Wouldn't surprise me if they acquit him. It should take a monster to have committed that crime, and there he sits, all handsome and wholesome in his navy suit. Clearly not a monster.
Are we done with being objective?
We're not. My part's done.
Is that bothering you?
Well, this is the part that I'm good at. Wading through the crap. Coming up with the right answer. Besides, I'm used to situations that are still salvageable. I mean, this thing, even if it comes out the right way, it's not like there's any redemption in it.
Putting this man away redeems the whole world a little bit, don't you think?
But I won't have done it.
What difference does that make?
I can't believe you don't understand this.
Amy, you took this job. You wanted to play in the big time. You would rather be refereeing some legal ping pong match than playing in the kiddie pond, where you might actually do some good, but no one notices you and your picture's not in the paper, so it's not worth anything.
Excuse me. I didn't go looking for this job. It came to me. And my picture is in the paper because it is a very big deal to preside over a capital murder case, no matter how much you want to belittle or minimize it.
One of my unimportant foster children was murdered yesterday. Her picture wasn't in the paper until she was a corpse. So I am not in the mood for existential wrangling and pseudo-angst. I'll try and be more sympathetic tonight.
Thank you for coming in. Follow-up interviews will be next week. Check your email.
Thank you, Dr. Redeker.
You're welcome.
Are you already interviewing for a attending position?
Well, we were going to hold a raffle, but we figured this was the more responsible way to find somebody.
What about me?
What about you? You've been here a year, Kyle.
I'm a third-year resident with a degree from Johns Hopkins. Technically, I qualify for that job. Were you going to interview me?
You're right. I'm sorry, okay? I'll go up and I'll make sure your name is put on the list. You can meet with the board next week.
Forget it.
Wait. Wait a second. What are you so mad about? That I'm interviewing people that aren't you, or that I'm leaving?
All of it, okay? I'm mad about all of it.
Wait, did you think that because of what happened yesterday, did you think I was going to change all my plans?
I thought maybe you'd take a moment, maybe a day, and think about it.
I'm leaving, Kyle. The only reason what happened yesterday happened is because I'm leaving. You knew that.
All rise. Be seated.
Okay. Everyone is present, and I've been informed that the jury has reached a verdict. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
In the case of the state of Connecticut v. Daniel Hawkins, alleging murder in the first degree, how do you find the defendant?
Your Honor, we find the defendant, Daniel Hawkins, guilty as charged.
First up tomorrow is a motion to suppress evidence. All the attorneys are probably a little nervous now that you nailed your wife killer.
I didn't nail him. He's not my wife killer.
You know what I mean. So you didn't have sleep last night? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply that, you're crabby or anything. Or that you look tired. I'm going to be hitting the road now. I'll see you tomorrow. Here.
Judge Gray,
Mr. McLaren,
I'd like to thank you.
what for?
What do you mean, what for?
You did your job. The jury did their job. Justice was served. I didn't do anything.
Are you forgetting that little part where you overturned the ruling that was preventing him from going to trial?
Do you always get this worked up over all your cases?
Anything wrong with that?
I can't really see you living till 97.
I'll see you at the sentencing hearing. If not before.
Amy,
Mom, I'm sorry.
It's my fault. No,
it's my fault.
You first.
I feel better now.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I just have some control issues about this job.
I see.
Or life in general. But I guess I get that from you, huh? The control thing.
So that's my fault.
I like it better if it is.
Really? Because that would put it out of your control.
I want a dumb mother.
You'd be bored silly.
Let's get to the part where you did something wrong.
All right. I took out my job frustrations on you. And I personalized your turning your back on the juvenile justice system.
I don't think that's what I'm doing.
Yes, I know.
I kept a wife killer from getting away with murder. That's not a bad way to spend your time.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I've had a bad couple of days and months. I see someone's feeling ambitious this morning.
Early bird gets the omelet.
So I hear. Would you excuse me for just a moment?
Absolutely.
Good morning.
Amy, you did not tell me we were having an overnight guest.
Come on, Mom. What grown woman needs to ask her mother's permission for her fiancé to spend the night?
A grown woman with an 11-year-old daughter who is about to enter puberty.
If Lauren is entering puberty today, she's doing it at Michael's.
Well, then perhaps I should rephrase my objection. I don't want any half-dressed man in my refrigerator before, shall we say, 9 a.m.?
Excuse me, ladies. I'm in a desperate search for an omelet pan.
Bottom cupboard, to the right. Well, Mom, I'm not the only one who's at sleepovers, or does senior citizen sex not count?
Jared was always fully dressed, and we had the decency to pretend that he'd just stopped by for breakfast.
Yeah, nobody saw through that.
Soft or firm? The omelets.
Firm.
Soft.
Excellent.
Stewart, do you feel comfortable having sex with your future mother-in-law in the next room?
You might want to rephrase that.
Stew, burning toast. Final word, okay? It's a non-issue because we're going to be married in 2 months.
Then I would request that you and your intended take your nocturnal activities somewhere other than my house for the duration.
Mom, do I have to say it? This is my house now.
Where are the coffee filters?
Don't ask me, Stewart. Ask the landlord.
knock off a newsstand on your way to work?
No, I did not. Turns out criminal court judges get all the law journals they want for free. So I signed us up.
Great. We can't even get toilet paper in juvenile.
We got Harvard, we got Yale, we got the Revista de Derecho Puertorriqueño. I just like saying that one.
Hey, Donna, when are we planning on reading these journals?
At the gym.
The gym?
The gym that criminal court judges get passes to. Hartford Sports, right around the corner.
Have I mentioned that it's probably not a good idea to spend all your waking moments strolling for perks?
Which is why I've also prepared a summary of your motion calendar. Somewhere.
I'll catch you later.
Yeah, we'll have lunch or something, okay?
Yeah, sure. Fit me in between the gym and the law journals.
First up, State v. Eva Maddox. Mom charged with manslaughter for allegedly tossing her 2-year-old son out the window.
In front of the daughter. Yeah, I read the brief.
You're hearing a motion about the daughter's competency to testify.
Got it.
I looked this up last night. The parent-child relationship doesn't meet the conditions required for privilege like the husband-wife relationship does, because
It doesn't need confidentiality in order to be successful. And the courts have ruled that the damage to the relationship from the testimony is not significant.
Did I mention we get manicures?
Molly Maddox is a very bright but profoundly depressed 7-year-old. The last thing she needs is to be the star witness for the prosecution in her mother's manslaughter trial. Your job is to make the judge understand that.
Well, Molly must have a caseworker. She's been in DCF custody for 2 months. I don't even know her.
Read the file. Molly's easy to know. You'll be fine.
But her caseworker...
Would be me. And the judge would be one Amy Gray, my only daughter. Which means that I have to kick this file to someone else, and that would be you.
Look, Maxine, field work is one thing. Court?
Is a big part of this job, and now would be a good time for you to get used to it. I'll see you in court.
Maxine?
What?
Have any advice for me?
Never wear fire for a hat. I don't know what it means. I read it in a bathroom stall once, and it stuck with me.
Honey, I've got to write an umbrella policy at 4:30, and then I'll come straight home. Are you sure you're okay without help?
Peter, I already missed 8 weeks with him while I was in the hospital.
Okay, but I've got my cell just in case.
We'll be fine.
Formula schedule's on the fridge, and there's a checklist on the baby bag in case you want to take them out. Oh, and here are the emergency numbers.
I've got it, okay?
He still hasn't burped?
Peter, I've done this before, remember?
Okay, this is me leaving. Oh, if he gets frustrated and cries like that,
Peter?
I'm gone.
That's okay.
I feel like I have a sweater in my mouth.
I broke my own rule. Never drink more than your body weight.
Oh. How did we get home?
We drove. I think.
Which one of us?
Okay, I think it was neither one of us because I remember being in the back seat and you were there.
Last thing I remember, I bought a pitcher of Mai Tais because it came with a t-shirt.
Okay, you better swing by on break, see if your car's still there.
Right. If that's where I left it. All I know is at 6 o'clock you had more hair.
Hey, you remember that girl?
Which girl?
You know, crazy hot on stage. She had on that short sweater and those tights. I think she was like a welder or something.
Wait, that's Flashdance.
Oh, yeah.
You hallucinated a movie. We went out for a couple of beers, that's all.
Do I look like your mother?
All rise. Be seated.
Good morning. We're addressing the defense's motion in limine to disqualify Molly Maddox as a witness.
Your Honor, we believe that Molly is not competent to testify.
Well, according to your own experts, she has the ability to relate past events. She knows there are consequences for lying. So unless you're saying she has a mental defect...
I'm saying she's on the edge, and this could easily push her over.
Your Honor, Eva Maddox locked 2-year-old Jordan Maddox in his room with no food. When he wouldn't stop crying, she went in, grabbed him, and tossed him out a 4th-story window.
Save it for opening statements, Counselor.
Molly Maddox is crucial to the state's case, Your Honor, because she witnessed the entire event.
Which Miss Blake only knows because of Molly's inadmissible statement to
Your
the
Honor,
police.
I don't want my baby going through this, please.
Your Honor, if Ms. Maddox has so much concern for her children, she wouldn't have thrown one of them out a window.
Down, all of you.
Who is here with Molly Maddox?
Alan Field as guardian ad litem and DCF caseworker Ellen Brady.
Ms. Brady. Ms. Brady? Do you have information regarding the child's current level of functioning?
Molly Maddox is having difficulty functioning, and it's not a good idea for her to testify.
Well, that last part is what I get to decide. Why don't you give me some details about Molly's difficulty functioning?
She has stomach aches and headaches, all that kind of thing.
Tell me more about Molly's difficulty functioning.
Maxine Gray, Your Honor. I'm Miss Brady's supervisor.
And my mother. So I really do need to hear from Ms. Brady.
Oh, her father walked out on the family. And she's had a very difficult life. You know what happened to her brother.
Well, while this court is sympathetic to the child's situation, the legal standard here is competency, and both the prosecution and the defense experts clearly state that Molly Maddox is competent to testify. So when will I hear a testimony from Molly, Miss Flowers?
Thursday, 2 o'clock looks like a good time, Your Honor.
Your Honor, evidently Miss Brady did not make the situation clear to you.
Miss Gray, I've made my ruling.
You cannot make Molly Maddox testify in...
Yes, I can.
But what Your Honor does not realize...
Moving on. Next case.
Is that how people pick a wedding band? They crush other people's weddings? Whatever happened to listening to a demo tape?
Mom, will you sign this?
Hold on. What am I signing?
Field trip permission slip.
You're going to Philadelphia for a field trip?
It's not until spring. You can wig out over it later.
Okay, I'm back. Do you want to pick me up here or work? Oh, honey, I gotta call you back. The coffee pot has lost its mind. Okay, love you. Bye.
Mom, just one more signature over here.
What is it?
It's some work I got back. No biggie. You don't have time to look through it all right now.
A C minus? Since when did you get a C minus?
Mrs. Kahn gave us all this pre-algebra stuff she hasn't even covered.
Did you talk to her about it?
I tried. Hi, Grandma.
Hello, sweetheart.
Good morning, Amy.
Hello, Mother. Well, why don't you put this in your backpack? You don't want to add tardiness to a C minus. So, Mom, Stu and I are going to hear some wedding bands tonight, so we'll be home late.
A grown woman in her own home doesn't have to answer to the tenant.
Tell me this is about Stu spending the night. You gonna give me a hint?
When you quit corporate law, you made a commitment to help the helpless. What happened to that?
I sold it on eBay.
Would you come on and say it? I can't believe you are compelling a 7-year-old to testify.
Okay, now this is ex parte, and this conversation's over.
You would never even have skipped a beat on this when you were in juvenile.
Well, I'm not in juvenile anymore, and your caseworker did a lousy job. She left me no choice.
You're going to penalize a child because of an inexperienced DCF worker?
It is not my job anymore to protect the child. It is my job now to look at what's in front of me. She's my only witness. I needed a great argument to keep her from testifying. I didn't even get a good one. Lauren, come on!
You are making a serious mistake on this.
Okay, and if you really want to press the issue further, I can't believe that you came into my courtroom and you argued with me about my ruling. I was in the middle of a manslaughter case. I wasn't in my room with the stereo too loud. What is wrong with you?
You are also not handing down pronouncements from Mount Sinai. What is wrong with you?
We're not talking about this anymore.
Lauren, I'll be in the car.
Car versus SUV. SUV rolled. 5-year-old boy, car seat thrown clear. Chest bruising from the belt. BP's 160 over 100.
Where are the other passengers?
Mom's on a gurney right behind us. The dad and the sister are 5 minutes out, but they're both DOA.
Notify OR.
Make sure his neck stays stabilized. Possible myocardial contusion. I need chest AP and lat, CBC and chem panel.
Let's get him on a cardiac monitor. Check his O2 stat.
Got it.
We got the mom unresponsive. Pulse ready at 42.
Over here.
Come on. Let's go. Lift on 3. Ready. 1, 2, 3.
I need a CBC with lat, chem 20, UA chest and abdominal.
Got it. UA chest and abdominal, let's go.
Lily, I got a sick one over here.
Monitor EKG changes and call peds. All right, calling peds, I got it.
She's in shock. Possible internal hemorrhaging. I need to aspirate.
Clear an OR now.
What about the other car?
We need to move her to an OR.
Hit and run. Telling me somebody knocked out an entire family, didn't even bother to stop?
Look,
That's how it looks.
All right, let's go.
Call for liver scan.
Hey there, buddy. You hanging in there?
Where's my mommy? Where's my mommy? Where's my mommy?
It's gonna be okay.
Thanks. Have a nice day. Well, hello, future son-in-law, and how are we today?
I could not be better. How about you?
I could be better, but it would be expensive and require stitches, so I think I'll stick with this. Stuart, I need to broach a personal matter.
If this is about the sex thing,
Would you say that just a little louder? It could do wonders for my reputation. I need to know, after the wedding, are you and Amy moving out, or am I?
I don't know.
Because if you and Amy are going to buy a new house, perhaps I could rent the old one.
It sounds good to me. What does Amy say?
Well, you've been keeping Amy pretty busy these days. No offense.
None taken. And to be honest, I've always pictured us in a more modern house. No offense.
None taken. Well, there's no time like the present with these low interest rates. And no one ever went broke investing in real estate.
You can stop selling. I'll talk to her.
You do that.
Dr. Kelton, would you please explain the injuries to Jordan Maddox that the jurors are observing in the autopsy photos?
He sustained fractures to both femurs, most likely when he hit the roof of the garage. His body turned and continued to fall, so his head hit the pavement first. Direct cause of death was a fracture to the posterior neck.
In plain English, then, in addition to 2 broken legs and a crushed skull, little Jordan's neck snapped when his head hit the pavement?
Objection, Your Honor.
Please refrain from commentary, Miss Blake.
Doctor, would you say that these injuries are consistent with a toddler being thrown out of a 4th-floor window?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Objection, speculation.
And about 9 other things. Objection is sustained.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Herzig?
Tell me, Dr. Kelton, are these injuries you described consistent with a child falling out a 4th-floor window?
Yes, they are.
And that's not speculation?
It isn't if you use that tone.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
No further questions.
The witness may step down.
Your Honor, I'd like to file a motion for reconsideration of your determination of Molly Maddox's competence. And Miss Brady, Molly's DCF caseworker, would like a chance to...
Mr. Herzig, you and your friends at DCF can stop beating that particular dead horse. The motion is denied, and I will see everyone tomorrow at 2. Large, big, tall, whatever you call it, latte. Yes, I'm still holding. No, I've already been transferred twice, actually. I just... Oh. Never stop doing that. Unless you're not Stu.
I am.
Yes, hello. I'm
I'm Lauren Cassidy's mom, and I was hoping to make an appointment to speak to Mrs. Khan at her earliest convenience. No, actually, next Tuesday is not soon enough. I was thinking that... Of course, this conversation could last until next Tuesday.
Well, I think your day's about to get better.
How?
Check this out. The lead guitarist just got hit with second-degree possession. The band's willing to perform as partial payment of legal fees.
Perform where?
Our wedding?
You want a convicted felon to play your first dance?
Yeah, they're fabulous and they're free.
All right, yeah, put him at the table with Bruce. We'll have a whole corner of convicted felons. No, I'm still holding, although I am getting a brain tumor, if that concerns you. Clearly it doesn't.
So I'm thinking, since we no longer need to check out bands for the wedding this weekend, maybe on Sunday we could go to some open houses.
What?
Well, your mom asked if we're moving out after we get married. I think it's an excellent idea.
She did? You do?
Come on. We're gonna need a more modern kitchen.
I just redid the kitchen.
And it's great-ish, but it's just, there's still only 2 bathrooms.
How many do you need?
Oh, sweetheart, it's the 21st century. Steam shower, surround sound, media room, home gym, a walk-in closet with an entire wall exclusively for shoes.
I mean, that all sounds great, but...
What?
I like my house.
You weren't thinking we'd live with your mom after we got married.
No, of course not. Yeah. Yes. Tomorrow, 7:45. That sounds great. Thank you.
So do we find the new house, or do we kick her out? Think about it.
Ellen? I made my home visits this morning. Robert has my reports. I gave my appointments for the rest of the week to Kimberly, and I put in a meaningless appearance at the Maddox trial.
What are you doing?
What does it look like?
It looks as if you were about to go off in an indignant huff because your first court case didn't go well, but I know that it can't be that.
I freeze up when I have to stand up in front of people and talk. I tried to tell you that, but you wouldn't listen. Something you and your daughter apparently have in common.
Ellen, why don't we have a cup of tea and I'll tell you about my first time in court.
Because I don't want to hear war stories. I don't want to hear chin up, you'll do better next time. I wouldn't mind hearing, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
For hanging me out to dry, for letting me make a fool of myself, not to mention turning a child killer loose on the streets.
In the first place, the child killer is not yet loose on the streets. Not quite. That's part of a process that we will take as it comes.
I told you I don't want to hear it!
And in the second place, your making a fool of yourself in court is right up there with the Judd Farewell Tour on the list of events that changed the trajectory of humankind.
Maxine, I know your folksy battle axe routine works on everyone else, but I just came here to do some good and to try to learn. And I can see now that this isn't going to be the kind of place where I can do either.
Honey? Jill?
Up here!
Hey, I thought I'd bring you guys lunch.
I haven't even had a shower. I can't get him to nap.
Well, I put music on when he gets a little overtired. I don't know whether it's the actual music or the familiarity
I don't care why, Peter. Just put it on, okay?
Okay.
Thanks. Well, I'd love to stay and bicker, but I have a 7:45 with Lauren's teacher. Mom, can you tell me in 15 seconds or less why you were discussing my living arrangements with my fiancé?
Because in order to discuss it with you, we would have to be speaking.
Mom, you cannot be late. Mrs. Khan hates it when people are late.
I won't be late.
Bye, Grandma.
I have a lot of things to figure out right now, and the last thing I need is for you to be in the middle of it.
Well, forgive me, Amy. I have this nutty obsession with whether or not I'm going to have a roof over my head.
Oh, that's good. Blowing things out of proportion, that's always helpful.
Amy, I realize that you are thoroughly wrapped up in yourself right now, but I need to make plans.
And I need you not to make mine for me.
Jordan, hate to tell you this, buddy, but it's time to take off the spaceman mask.
Can I see my mom and dad?
I'll tell you what. We have to make sure you're in a little better shape before you can see anybody, okay? So I need you to rest, and I'll come back and check on you in a few minutes. Oh, wow. Sorry that took me so long, Mr. Wilkerson. Witty nurse wrote trashed ankle. Why don't we come up with something else we can tell the insurance company?
Fell off a bar stool. I'm sure I'm not the first one of those you've seen, right?
No, but you're the first one today. How did you get here?
I drove. Damn bartender didn't want an ambulance in front of his establishment. Do you believe it? You ever try to drive a 520 with your left foot?
Not recently. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna come up with a better term than trashed until I get some x-rays.
Slip me a couple fentanyls. I can probably just walk it off.
You wish.
Dr. McCarty?
See what, get him up to x-ray, get a full set of prints on the right and a reference set on the left. How's Jordan's mom?
Cops are trying to locate next of kin now. They'll keep us posted.
Mom's gonna make our
Boys, no running.
No.
The thing is, Mrs. Khan, I don't actually know your first name. Isn't that ridiculous?
How can I help you, Miss Gray?
Okay, cards on the table. Well, it's about Lauren's math test.
Pre-algebra is a challenge for a lot of children.
Well, Lauren felt that the material wasn't thoroughly covered in class. Now, clearly there was no intent on your part, so I thought that maybe you and I could come to some sort of a...
Plea bargain?
Did it sound like that? Because I would never...
Do you realize that you have never set foot in Lauren's classroom?
Well, I was planning to come by, but...
But you didn't. And as a result of it, you aren't quite up to speed, are you?
Well, I check her homework every night.
Mm-hmm. You missed the open house? The grade level meeting?
Yes, I know.
And you never once called me to find out what you missed.
Mrs. Khan, I am a judge, and as much as I would like to ask the less savory parts of our society to stop their robbing and raping and murdering so I can clear my schedule for math night, it's just not gonna happen. So if you think that makes me a bad mother, that's just completely unfair.
It's also completely unfair for you to attribute a nosedive in your daughter's grades to me. Frankly, if Lauren's study habits are suffering, it probably has to do with the crowd that she hangs out with.
What crowd?
I rest my case, Judge Gray.
To Shaker, better to know now.
She thought it was entirely my fault.
So I heard. Kimberly's been having a field day with the story.
Well, I'm not sure she's wrong. She tried to tell me she wasn't ready.
Maxine, you've been doing this job for how long? Who is ever ready for any of this? My first home visit was a father who cut off his son's ears with an electric carving knife.
I don't know what's happened to my instincts.
Even if Ellen was right, so you made a bad call.
I have to get to court. Molly Maddox is testifying this afternoon, and I mustn't be late.
I got your page. What's up?
Tibio-talar dislocation.
Yeah? Why the console?
Film belongs to the drunken four. Claims he did it falling out of a chair.
No way. He either slid into home base or got it in a car wreck.
And why would he lie about that? Is the guy on four still here?
He's trying to send me for donuts.
Do it. On your way, check the parking lot for a Beamer with front end damage. That son of a bitch.
Here's the judge. Listen to what she says.
It's okay, Molly. Everybody here is really friendly. They just make us do this fancy stuff. You want to sit over here?
State your name and age, dear.
Molly Maddox, I'm almost 8.
Do you promise to tell the truth, Molly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Molly, I know this is hard, so I'll make it quick, okay? Now, can you tell me about the night your brother Jordan died?
My mommy didn't do it.
Didn't do what?
She didn't throw Jordan out the window.
Well, we're going to go back a little before that, okay? Now, was your mommy angry with Jordan?
Yes, but it was all Jordan's fault. He wouldn't stop crying.
And was your mommy upset about that?
He climbed out the window himself. Mommy didn't do anything.
Molly, didn't you tell the police officer that night that you saw...
Sustained. You don't have to answer that, Molly.
My mommy didn't do it. It was all Jordan's fault. My mommy didn't do anything. You have to let her come home now.
Molly, was Jordan really tall enough to open up that window all by himself?
She didn't do it. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. She didn't do it.
Okay. We're gonna take a recess here, Miss Gray. If we could please get your help, thank you.
She didn't do it. She didn't do it.
You need to come with me now, Molly.
She didn't do it.
Why didn't you tell me the shape that little girl was in?
I tried.
You didn't try very hard.
I tried as hard as you would let me. I didn't know that my caseworker was going to freeze in court. And when I tried to take over, you made me shut up. And by the way, in juvenile court, you would never have done that.
This is not juvenile court.
Yes, I know. This is screw the children and protect the murdering mother's civil rights court. I can see that.
Judge Gray, it wasn't your fault.
Yes, it was.
It was my fault.
Went over your x-rays with my boss.
Great. So what's the deal?
Dislocation. Can't even believe you could walk on it. How many drinks did you have?
Don't even ask. Like 10 shots.
Yeah. And you really didn't do it falling off of a chair, did you?
Sure I did. What are you doing? Okay. Maybe I scraped a car. It's no big deal, bro. Everybody's got insurance, right?
Yeah, they had great insurance. It wasn't just a scrape, bro. You wiped out an entire family, except for now one newly orphaned 5-year-old.
No, I didn't.
Nurse will be by to do a splint. That officer, he's gonna give you a ride when you're done. Take care now.
You're making all this crap up. I didn't kill anybody. Hey! I want a lawyer. I have the right to a lawyer.
Mr. Herzig,
Much as every moment in your court is a pleasure, Your Honor, defense moves for a judgment of acquittal.
Well, since the state has insufficient evidence for the case to go to jury, I'm going to have to agree. I'm entering a judgment of not guilty. Ms. Maddox, the court officer will process you out, at which time you are free to go. When do I get Molly back?
Your Honor, may I address the court on that issue?
Yes, you may.
Even though there is insufficient evidence to go to jury, the state does not look kindly upon mothers who let their 2-year-olds fall out of windows. Therefore, DCF has filed a neglect petition seeking to terminate parental rights.
I was just acquitted. You were acquitted of manslaughter. The neglect petition is a matter for the juvenile court to decide.
Can she do that?
Yes, she can. Has the preliminary hearing been scheduled?
For tomorrow morning, Your Honor, 10 o'clock. The OTC will remain in effect until after our case has been heard.
Mr. Herzog, I believe you know where Judge Bell's courtroom is?
Your Honor, this is outrageous.
Well, maybe it is, but that's for Judge Bell to decide. Court is adjourned.
Did you locate an next of kin?
There's a great aunt in Oregon who'd be happy to have him come live with her, but the nursing home won't allow it.
Dude, get this. Friday night, the Elbow Room is having a belching contest. Winner gets free beer for a month. We still there?
I'm gonna pass.
You're kidding, right?
No, I'm not.
Oh, gotcha. You be a Boy Scout. Less competition for this guy.
That I bought for you. Just wondering if you're coming home for dinner, and I'm just the tiniest bit worried about you, so you just call me, okay? Bye.
Mom, I need you to stay off the phone, because Victor's supposed to call me.
Why?
To talk.
I don't think so.
Mom!
When you're old enough to talk to boys on the phone, I will let you know.
Half of my friends have their own minds.
Half of your friends have parents that are idiots.
What's that?
My special refrigerator surprise. Everything in the refrigerator that isn't moldy, plus a little garlic and ground beef.
Do you think I could just have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my room?
No. No, we're gonna sit at the table like grown-ups and we're gonna talk.
About what?
About school. About Victor. Then all your other new friends. And then I'm gonna tell you about some parent committees that I signed up for, and then we'll discuss how incredibly grounded you'll be if you ever come home with any more C-minuses.
Where's Grandma?
Not here to save you. So I'm gonna finish up dinner, and you can start on your homework.
But...
Now.
The older you get, the more you turn into Grandma.
Well, you better shape up. Because I'm getting older by the minute. Oh, pick up. Pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up.
You ever did battery?
No.
You just sitting here in your car?
Yes, I am.
May I join you?
If you feel strongly about it.
I can't go home. I thought I was angry with Amy about the Molly Maddox trial. So I fumed about that for a while. Then I realized I'm angry with her about something else altogether.
Which would be?
I'm angry with her because she's the one who gets to live happily ever after in my house. What kind of a mother is mad at her daughter for being happy?
Normal one.
Oh, Sean Potter, you do not get to sit here and dish out perspective. I had perspective when you were chewing on your crayons.
Believe me, I would never presume. However, my mother would.
Your mother?
She was even older than you are. She had perspective when you had a poodle skirt. I know you never had a poodle skirt. You had the perfect life a year ago. You had a perfect fiance, perfect family, perfect boss. And Amy had a failed marriage and a bedroom in her mother's home. Then you lost Jared. Amy found Stu. If you need to take a moment to have a feeling about that, you've got the right to.
Sean, if I have a feeling, it won't be a little one.
That's okay, too.
Be seated, please. Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today to witness the beginning of something sacred. A bond, a promise, the union of Stuart and Amy. And while a wedding is clearly an occasion of celebration, let us also take this time for sober and solemn reflection.
The amazing pancake factory.
Wow, that looks fantastic. How does it work?
Well, you see, first you put the batter in here,
And out come the
Hey,
pancakes.
Lauren, what are you doing?
Can't sleep. I had a bad dream.
Oh, honey. What was yours about?
I don't remember. Look at this. It's called the Amazing Pancake Factory. You set the timer before you go to bed, and when you wake up, pancakes. We really need that.
Lauren, it's 3 in the morning. You gotta go to school tomorrow.
I don't think I can go.
Is that what you're worried about? Oh, you're gonna love junior high. I did. Sort of.
I don't have anything to wear.
You have a closet full of new clothes.
I think we should return them.
Why?
You're changing jobs, right?
I'm changing courts. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, what if you're no good at it?
I will be.
Tonight at dinner, I heard you tell Grandma that you were worried about your new job. So what if you get fired? Then we won't have any money, right? So I think we should return the clothes now before you get fired. Only that means I won't have anything to wear, and that's the reason I can't go. Because, nobody wears elementary school clothes to junior high. That's, so lame wearing junior high clothes to
Lauren,
high school.
Lauren. You're getting yourself all worked up. Take a deep breath, okay? Now listen to me. Listen to me. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to court, and you're going to go to school, and we're both going to wear new clothes, okay? Is there anything else that's bothering you?
You've got a list.
Is there anything I can do to make you feel better?
And you have pancakes the next morning.
Hand me the phone.
Okay, Butler, this is your case, isn't it? So let's hear about it.
Okay, the patient is she's a 40-year-old woman who has been comatose for the last 8 weeks.
A condition you are apparently trying to inflict upon the rest of us. Come on, Butler, speed it up.
Okay, she suffered from undiagnosed eclampsia and following childbirth went into cardiac arrest. She was resuscitated, but the EEG shows cerebral edema, and she remains unable to respond to external stimuli.
Moving on.
She's 39.
Excuse me?
You said she's 40. She is not. Her name is Jillian Gray. She is 39 years old. She's the mother of 2 boys. A 3-year-old named Ned and a newborn named Walt. You left all that out.
5 minutes. We'll reconvene in the cardiac unit. It's a teaching hospital, Mrs. Gray.
All right. Then let's teach the interns to get their patient's age right.
I'll have her file corrected.
How is she?
No change. Look, I need to talk with Peter. If you could have him call me, I've left messages.
Dr. Benjamin, my son has a new baby, a 3-year-old, a wife in the hospital, and a business he's trying to hold together. He's running on fumes. Talk to me.
We want to move Jillian out of ICU and into a convalescent facility.
I don't understand. Are you saying you no longer expect her to get well?
No, I'm not ruling anything out, Mrs. Gray, but comas run their own course, and I can only hold off insurance companies for so long. So, if you could have Peter call me back.
Not afraid of heights, are you? Judge Dowell had it raised by a foot a year ago.
Why? Was he shrinking?
It's a bigger room than you're used to, isn't it? Don't let it throw you. A courtroom is a courtroom.
I'll keep that in mind. Don't take this the wrong way, but who are you?
Spencer. Carls. And I'll be your clerk. God, I sound like a waiter.
Oh, you come with the courtroom.
You kind of inherited me. And when you took Judge Dowell's spot on the bench, you got his docket and his staff.
I get my own staff. I don't have to share.
That's right. Welcome to the 4th floor. I'll be handling research for you. Case law, precedents, that kind of thing. I used to help Dowell draft opinions. I'm an excellent editor, by the way.
And the rest of my staff?
Louise, court services clerk. Calls cases, scheduling, navigates bureaucracy. You'll meet her when your session starts in about 9 minutes.
Please tell me those aren't all for today.
Here's the deal. 99% of these are motions Judge Dowell ruled on before he left. What you're about to witness is a massive game of judicial kick the can. You're new. So every lawyer who comes in here today is going to take a shot at getting you to overturn one of Dowell's decisions. It's a freebie to them. Now, I'm not here to tell you your job.
No, please.
Judge Dowell knew what he was doing. These guys think they can jerk you around once, they'll never stop. Draw a line in the sand. overturned nothing.
Maybe I should take a look at those files.
Judge Gray, you've only got 9 minutes.
I'm a fast reader.
So, everybody sleep well? Good.
Okay, here we go. Hey, look who's awake. Hey, okay. Shut this. There he is. Okay. All right, okay.
Hey, that's my cup.
Back off, buddy.
Who wants to watch TV?
I do.
Oh, all right, everybody in the bedroom. Okay. Okay, here we go. Well, you know that's his favorite cup.
How much longer is this going on?
What?
All this, the babysitting, the Donna daycare center.
I'm just helping Peter out, until...
Until when?
What's the problem? I mean, he's paying me. It's, got the time. It's not like the phone's ringing off the hook with people looking to hire an unemployed court clerk.
Nice try. That doesn't work with me. I know your secret.
What secret?
You're a lawyer. You're not a babysitter. You're not a child care expert. You're a lawyer.
No, I'm not.
You finished law school 6 weeks ago.
Which makes me a law school graduate. I'm not a lawyer until I pass the bar.
Which I hear is virtually impossible to do unless you take it. Okay. I realize I may not have a ton of credibility as a career counselor.
What are you, the oldest medical resident in America?
But please, do it for me. For my mental health. Take the bar and get a job.
Yeah. Hand me the Emma, would you?
Because this has to end.
I have no recollection of any such conversation.
That's because you have selective memory. You always have. We've been trying to hire someone new for over a year now. We finally got the money.
That I remember, but the part where I agreed to train the new hire, surely you made that up.
Yeah, I made it up. I'm a 9-year-old.
You're a 9-year-old with very mature facial hair.
Maxine, we've been over this.
Sean, I don't have the hours in the day to train some Ivy League graduate. I'm spending half my time on Peter's situation, and I'm only here now because Kelly Mitchell's run away. Is it true?
Because if it's true, it's totally unfair.
Kimberly, the grown-ups are talking.
So it's true. She's getting her own assistant? Well, if she gets an assistant, I get an assistant. It's part of my contract.
You don't have a contract.
Is that her?
That's Ellen. She's our new trainee.
Trainee. That's what you're calling her. Who's training her?
Maxine's.
Let me. I can train her.
Well, there's an excellent idea. Now, see, there you go. Problem solved.
All parties are present, and attorneys' names have been entered into the record. Case number 025229, State v. Lewis.
Your Honor, may I take a moment to welcome you on your first day?
Thank you, Counselor. Well, I am looking at a motion to review sentencing in the State v. Lewis. This is a second offense, breaking and entering.
Yes, Your Honor. However, if you look at my client's record...
Motion denied.
Excuse me?
Motion denied. I agree with Judge Dowell's sentence. Next case.
Doing great, Your Honor. Kick this next one back, we can all get to lunch.
Lunch. Great. As long as we're clear on our priorities.
State v. Daniel Hawkins.
My clerk has just informed me that lunch is approaching, so why don't we just skip the part where you two welcome me to the big leagues and get right to the part where you try to take advantage of me because I'm the new guy.
Fair enough. The state is submitting a motion for reconsideration.
And what is it that you'd like me to reconsider?
Evidence, Your Honor. I'd like you to reconsider a motion to suppress the key piece of evidence in the state's case against Daniel Hawkins.
Your Honor, it's a ridiculous request. Judge Dowell rightfully suppressed the evidence because it was the result of an illegal search and seizure.
The state believes Judge Dowell made an error of law. The search was necessary and legal. Suppress the evidence and you suppress the truth, which is that Daniel Hawkins killed his wife.
Just give me a minute. So Daniel Hawkins was charged with first-degree murder?
A year ago, his wife's body was discovered in a landfill. She had been drugged with something called dihipsyl. She was raped and then strangled. 3 months later,
During an illegal search of his home.
Police came across 2 bottles of dihipsol in Mr. Hawkins' bedroom. As a result of this discovery, an investigation was mounted and led to Daniel Hawkins' arrest.
The police had no right to be in Daniel Hawkins' bedroom in the first place. The Fourth Amendment exists for a reason.
That's a smokescreen, Your Honor, and a pretty lousy one at that. As Miss Dunbar is aware, there were exigent circumstances. A medical emergency gave them justification for the search into Mr. Hawkins' apartment.
This is nothing more than an overeager state attorney's office attempt to pull the wool over the eyes of a novice judge.
Is that true, Mr. McLaren? Is that what you're doing?
Mr. Hawkins killed his wife, Your Honor. I'm doing what I can to make sure he doesn't get away with it.
How does my afternoon look, Miss Flowers?
It's not pretty, Your Honor. You have a little window around 3.
Motion to reconsider granted. I will hear testimony at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
So, first session under your belt. How you feeling, Judge Gray?
Hungry.
He's a pretty good lawyer, isn't he?
Who's that?
McLaren, the ASA and the murder one. The guy's like one of these movie stars. He comes on so strong. I should have warned you.
Yeah, I assume that's what those hand signals were about. Either that or you were telling me to steal third.
Okay, I have to say something, and you can tell me if I'm out of line. Louise has heard this speech a million times.
Must be a pretty good speech.
My first day on this job, Judge Dow sat me down and he said the most important thing I could do as his clerk is to protect him from himself. And I'd like to do the same for you.
I'm not following.
You were shanghaied by David McLaren. And I understand that. He's a big presence. But the law does not back him up. The precedents don't exist. This is not the kind of mistake you want to make your first day in the criminal court. You spend the rest of your career recovering from it.
You know, you're right. You are out of line. I'm going to lunch.
Where are we with Kelly Mitchell?
She's still missing. School hasn't seen her in 2 days. There may be a boyfriend. We're trying to reach him.
You're gonna have to call the police.
Not yet.
Maxine.
If the police find her, then she's a runaway.
She is a runaway.
And she'll go to lockup. And this girl has already spent far too much time in gated communities. I'd like to give it another hour.
Sorry, excuse me. Does this smell bad to you? Kimberly wants 2% milk for her iced coffee, and all I can find is this, and it's like a week overdue.
She sent you out for coffee?
She has any more problems with the coffee? Have her come talk to me.
Ms. Gray, does she have any siblings in the area?
Who, Kimberly? Did she want you to get coffee for her siblings?
No, you're missing foster girl. Are there any siblings?
That's pretty much the first place we look. Biological siblings and ex-boyfriends, which reminds me, I need to have access to telephone records.
Is the foster mother pregnant?
Excuse me?
The foster mom. I've heard stories where foster kids are displaced because the family has a baby of their own. I don't know, I just thought...
Ellen, you grinding those coffee beans yourself?
Excuse me.
I'm sure you knew what you were doing.
It makes one of us. No, of course I knew what I was doing. I was just hired to rubber stamp some other judge's opinions. 4 years on the bench? It's gotta be worth something.
You said it. So long, sister. Here. Quit flailing. I need this.
What are you doing?
I need to measure your finger
Why?
for the ring. We're engaged, right?
Yes, of course we are. We were both there. I said yes. There were tears.
I know it was a beautiful moment. However, currently, we don't live together, do we? We don't even have a date for the wedding.
Well, there have been extenuating circumstances. Jillian and...
Of course. And I understand, but I guess I've just been wondering, how is this, us being engaged, any different than us dating?
Oh, well, that's easy. I'll tell you. It is so different because...
Exactly. This is why I want you to have a ring. You want a ring, don't you?
Yes. Yes, of course I do.
But...
Can I go with you when you pick it out?
I guess.
It's... Just... Don't take it the wrong way. You know I love you. I would just prefer not to be surprised. I'm sorry, am I in the wrong chambers?
They should order you a new chair.
Excuse me?
Whenever there's a changeover, you're supposed to get new furniture.
I'll keep that in mind.
Don't worry, I'm not going to make a habit of this. I came by to pick up my mail. Bob Dowell.
Oh.
I hope these chambers serve you as well as they did me.
Thank you so much. And congratulations, by the way. Appellate court. That's very exciting.
You have a few minutes before your session starts.
I don't mean to be rude, Judge Dowell, but I do have some reading to do.
Has anyone told you the story about Judge Robson? Please. It's a very funny story. It's his first day of court, right? And he makes a rookie mistake and parks in the wrong spot. The spot he chooses actually belongs to Appellate Judge Stanford Ross. You know what became of Judge Robson?
No.
Join the club. No one does. He actually spent a year on the bench, during which time every single decision he made was overturned by the Appellate Court of Connecticut. Every one.
I agreed to hear arguments. In the Hawkins case. That's all. I'm just covering my bases.
It's your office now. You don't have to justify your decisions to me.
I just have to be careful not to park in the wrong spot.
Good luck, Judge Gray. Make them buy you that chair. And don't let them push you around.
Officer Paxton, do police officers regularly accompany paramedics on 911 medical distress calls?
No, not regularly, but it happens.
Why did it happen this time?
We all recognize the address, Mr. Hawkins' name. A bunch of us, we gotten to know the guy after his wife went missing.
And so without a warrant, you used the 911 call to search his apartment to look for evidence to tie him to the crime.
That's not true. We went over there to help. We all liked Danny. And when I saw him passed out on the floor, the EMT said that it was an intentional overdose and that he was gonna die if we couldn't find whatever it was he had taken.
I see. That's why you tore the place apart.
Objection,
Because you were...
Sustained. Ms. Dunbar.
In your desperate quest to save Daniel Hawkins' life, where did you find the dihepsyl?
In his desk drawer.
Really? So you were looking for medicine, but you just didn't bother to look in the medicine cabinet.
We split up. The EMTs were checking the bathroom.
And you were searching every other nook and cranny in the entire apartment without a warrant.
Ms. Dunbar, argumentative.
What, he didn't object?
Well, he should have.
Nothing further.
Redirect, Your Honor. Officer Paxton, did Mr. Hawkins ever regain consciousness in your presence?
Yes, when he was on the stretcher and they were taking him to the ambulance, he started to talk.
What did he say?
I showed him the unmarked container of pills and asked him what he took. He grabbed me by my arm and he said, "Let me die." I killed her. Let me die.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Officer Paxton, do you have a lot of experience with overdose victims?
I've seen my share.
Do they sometimes say things that don't make any sense?
Sometimes.
Can you give me an example?
One guy I remember last year, we were strapping him onto the gurney and he told us to take him to the roof because he knew how to fly.
And did you believe him? Did you believe that he could fly?
No, ma'am.
No further questions.
The witness is excused.
Your Honor, if it wasn't clear before, it certainly should be now. The state has no grounds. This is textbook illegal search and seizure. Judge Dowell saw it, and in my opinion, you would have to be blind and deaf not to reach the same conclusion. We don't live in a police state. The defendant has rights.
And so do the people. They have a right to be protected from a man who killed his wife. Your Honor, he confessed. How about we don't bend over backwards and try to pretend that this man did not confess to killing Linda Hawkins because we're afraid that somewhere down the line it might get overturned by an appellate court.
Excuse me. Lawyers, approach the bench. Have either one of you ever spoken to a judge the way you just spoke to me?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I have no interest in bringing contempt charges against you and throwing you in jail. Not on my first day. But look at the clock. My first day's almost over. We clear? Dismissed.
What are you doing?
Oh, Kimberly got a new cell phone, so I'm entering all the phone numbers from the old one into the new one.
Ah, that
Higher education finally paying off, is it?
Yeah, Maxine, if you don't mind, leave my trainee alone.
Excuse me, Kimberly. You've got 3 different numbers for your gynecologist. Do you want me to save all of them?
Everyone's gynecologist has 3 numbers. Ellen, put the phones down.
Maxine.
You have completed this portion of your training. Congratulations. Come with me.
Oh, that's just perfect. Now who's supposed to take Norma Ray to the vet?
I owe you an apology. You were my responsibility, and I threw you to the sharks.
It's not a big deal. I just figured, everyone pays dues.
Yes, well, there are do's and there are do's. Have you met Norma Ray? The cat has worms the size of shoelaces.
Did you find your runaway?
You were correct. The foster mother is pregnant. She found out last week. Was that a lucky guess?
I don't know.
You were in the system yourself, weren't you?
I went in at 6. Stayed for 7 years.
What happened when you were 13?
I got lucky. I found a family. They pulled me out of a group home.
You didn't mention anything about your background in your application or during your interview. Didn't you think it was relevant?
I don't know.
Ellen, consider this part of your training. You need to stop answering questions with "I don't know."
My last year of grad school, a professor brought in a group of former foster kids to speak to us. They talked about what it was like growing up in the juvenile system, how they managed to survive. And afterwards, I went up to one of them. He must have been 29, 30 years old, and I asked him what he was doing now with his life. And he told me this was it. This was what he was doing. Visiting schools, talking about surviving his childhood. Everyone's got a past. I don't want to be defined by mine.
Hey, Lauren? Grandma says you don't want to eat dinner.
I'm not hungry.
Well, the first day of school is always the worst.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's too big. They only give you 3 minutes to get to your classes, and I got lost trying to find the gym. I've got all the wrong clothes. The teachers are mean. The kids are the worst. I cried during lunch. I'm not going back.
What happened at lunch?
I dropped my tray and bumped into some 8th grader, and my whole lunch fell on the floor. Everybody was looking at me. The whole place. They started clapping. I couldn't help it. I cried.
Sweetie. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I want to go back to 5th grade.
I know you do. But you can't. Listen. Tomorrow will be better.
No, it won't.
We'll do this. Tomorrow, find one good thing about school, and when I come home, you can tell me about it. One thing.
What if I can't?
What if you can't find one good thing? Then I'll give you $5.
Really?
Yeah, really. See? It's a win-win situation for you. Well, I'm gonna go eat. Just, let me know if you get hungry. Okay.
What What do you want me to do?
Find her a job.
Kyle,
quickly.
Donna is not a social worker.
So what? She could be. She finished law school in like a year and a half. She is a genius. And her talents are being wasted as a babysitter.
Who's a genius?
Donna. Remember her? The one you fired?
I didn't fire her.
No, you abandoned her, which is worse.
There were budget cuts. Tell me you didn't come over here just to give me a hard time.
No, I actually had a very nice day. Saved a couple of lives and wanted to share that with my family.
Giving you a hard time is just an added plus.
Exactly.
Hey, do me a favor. Bring this to Lauren. Tell her about all the lives you saved. Cheer her up.
You know, I held a human heart in my hands today.
Feel free to leave that part out. Did you see Jillian today?
No change. What's going on up there?
Oh, she dropped her tray in the cafeteria and everybody clapped.
The first day of junior high is supposed to be terrible. What about you?
I feel pretty much the same way. I want to go back to 5th grade, too. It's just so weird. It's like I'm working in the same building, and I'm parking in the same spot, and I'm wearing the same robe, but it's like I'm starting out all over again, and everyone's out to get me. Does that sound paranoid?
Not at all. I warned you about this. The criminal court is more of a political job than anything else. But the upside is you can always go back.
What?
To juvenile. You have a reputation. You have 4 years in the bank. If it turns out that criminal court is not for you,
Mom,
you can...
Mom, tell me that everything's going to be all right. Tell me that I know what I'm doing, that I'm going to find my footing, anything. Just don't tell me I made a mistake. Not on my first day.
Amy, I'm... Hello? What's the matter, Peter? Peter, everything will be fine. I'll be right over. He's a mess. Ned is staging a hunger strike. The baby's sick. And Donna is at the movies.
I'll go. I haven't seen him for a few days. I'll go.
Amy, you're going to be all right. You know what you're doing, and you'll find your footing.
Just make sure Lauren eats something, okay? He's down.
Thank God.
Peter, he is very cute. Even with that cold. His little nose just...
I know. I just need him to let me get some sleep every other night.
Oh, yeah, well, I talked about it with him. He's going to try to do better. Well, why don't you go to bed? I'll be here in case anyone wakes up.
Oh, I have to get through this stuff. I'm drowning in paper.
Come on. Can't wait. Go to bed.
I can't. They want to move Jillian to a convalescent home. I have paperwork to fill out.
You have to do it all tonight?
Well, I was supposed to do it weeks ago, but I kept letting it slide. It's not like me. I've never been late paying a bill my entire life.
Come on, Peter. Give yourself a break.
Well, I guess I was just hoping it wouldn't be necessary. But it is. I know it is. You know, I read to her every day. The Thornbirds. She loves this book. She read it on her honeymoon. At first, every time I started a new chapter, I made this deal. I told myself, before I finish this chapter, she's gonna wake up.
Well, you heard what the doctor said, Peter. Anything can happen.
Yeah, he did. I just don't believe it anymore.
I'll go.
Oh, he'll want me. I got it.
No, I'm going to have to push the whole docket. My judge won't be in until 11. Yeah, no, Let me call you back.
Hey.
Hey. What, you get lost?
No, I was halfway down the hall before I realized I was going the wrong way. Well, this place looks pretty much the same. Except for the sailboats. Your new judge, he's a big yachtsman.
She has never set foot in the ocean. I think she just likes boats.
This was a good room for me, wasn't it?
No comment.
How long are you going to stay and greet me for leaving?
Mr. Van Exel.
Judge Bell, this is Judge Gray.
Oh.
We used to work together.
Oh, yes, I've heard quite a bit about you. I understand you're already making quite a name for yourself upstairs.
A name? Well, I wouldn't go that far. I've only been there a day.
I have another painting in the back of my car. I was wondering if you could help me bring it in.
Sure, I'll be right there.
Best of luck, Judge Gray.
Thank you. Bruce, am I making a name for myself upstairs? Come on, you hear things.
Remember when you started working here 4 years ago? There are gonna be bumps in the road. You'll get past them.
How did I get past them then?
I don't know. I guess you figured out which ones to avoid and which ones to flatten.
I think I was a lot smarter then.
No, you weren't. Come on.
How did you get back in here?
It wasn't too difficult. I walked. Place isn't exactly the White House.
I understand you had a room of your own at the Rakoffs. Your foster mother said that you were starting to like school. You made some friends.
Yeah? She also tell you she's having a baby?
Yes, she did.
I'm used to this place.
You would have gotten used to the Rakoffs.
I didn't want to. Because I got used to the last foster home I was in. You know what happened there? They decided to adopt a baby from Guatemala or something, and the next thing I know it, they sent me back here. Said they didn't have enough space. That baby wasn't even their own, and they got rid of me.
Kelly?
Kelly, where are your shoes? Someone took them. First night I was here, happens to everyone. Get them back.
Or you'll take somebody else's.
So?
I used to steal stuff from my foster families all the time. It was how I got bounced. I'd steal something, they'd report me and send me back.
What happened?
I got stuck with a foster family who wouldn't report me. I'd take their money. Next night, they'd take my books. I'd steal a piece of jewelry, they'd take my toothbrush. It was the craziest thing you ever saw. But I finally figured it out. They didn't want me to go. They didn't want me to steal their stuff, but they weren't going to report me. They wanted me to stay.
What happens when they have their baby?
Kelly, give them a chance. Occasionally, people will surprise you.
Our morning is overbooked. No, the judge isn't complaining. I'm complaining. We're full. Call me back.
Please take your feet off my furniture.
Good morning, Judge Gray.
Not for long. You have a minute, don't you, Spencer? Miss Flowers, you can stay. So tell me, Spencer, what was your relationship with Judge Dowell like?
No, as I explained to you, he very much relied on me. I did research for him, prep work.
You were close. I only asked that because I met Judge Dowell yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. And I was surprised to find that he was absolutely up to speed with everything that had happened in my courtroom.
Well, it's all public record, Judge Gray. And word usually travels pretty fast around the courthouse.
Usually. But not always. Oh, you haven't heard?
Heard what?
I've had you transferred. We're not going to be working together anymore.
What? Yeah, you can't do that.
No, I checked. Turns out I can.
Judge Gray, you're going to need a research clerk.
I've hired one. Come on in. This is Donna. She's going to be my clerk. This is Miss Flowers.
Hello.
And this is Spencer. Say goodbye to Spencer.
It was nice meeting you.
Anything you'd like to say, Miss Flowers?
I never liked that guy.
great office, Judge Gray. Really? Do you mind if I decorate a little? I was thinking, maybe I could hang my diploma.
Pick a wall.
All rise.
Wow. It's a full house. This must be what Celine Dion feels like every night. You know, personally, I don't get her appeal.
Okay, let's get right to it, shall we? I am ready to rule on the motion to reconsider evidence suppression in the matter of the state v. Daniel Hawkins. I've reviewed all transcripts, testimony, as well as Judge Dowell's decision from the previous hearing. And I have come to a different conclusion. It is my decision that the previous ruling be reversed and that all evidence obtained in Daniel Hawkins' apartment be ruled admissible in court.
With all due respect, Your Honor, I don't think the court is fully aware of the implications of this ruling. The previous judge already ruled
With
that
all
the
due
evidence
respect,
was inadmissible.
Counselor, the court is extraordinarily aware of the implications of this decision. I have nothing but respect for the previous judge, but this matter is before me, and that is my decision.
Your Honor, in that case, the defense moves for an immediate stay in order to seek appellate review of this ruling.
Motion denied. We are proceeding to trial, Ms. Dunbar. If you aren't happy with the outcome, you are free to seek appellate review at that point.
Believe me, we will, Your Honor.
Is the state prepared to proceed to trial?
We are.
Defense?
We will be.
Ms. Flowers, when can we expect to hear opening statements?
Tuesday at 9:30.
Tuesday at 9:30 it is. Thank you. Lauren, can I come in?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, sweetheart. How was school?
It was great.
Really?
I love school.
Well, I knew it. I knew you would. Well, so I guess you don't need this?
Keep your money, Mom.
So is that good, huh? Okay, tell me. What, you found some great new teacher, right? Met some new friends?
I met a guy.
What?
His name is Victor. He is so cool, and he totally likes me.
Victor.
He was supposed to be in 7th grade this year, but he stayed back. So he's in my homeroom.
And why did Victor stay back?
I don't know. Some misunderstanding with our principal. Mom. But you know what Victor said? He said it was because of fate that he stayed back. Fate. Because if he hadn't stayed back, he would have never met me. Isn't that like the nicest thing anyone has ever said?
At night, he slept in a tiny cell-like room with shutters wide open. In the hush of dawn, he celebrated a solitary mass. During the day, he walked. No one bothered him. He bothered no one. But as he passed, the dark eyes of the peasants would follow him in slow amazement, and every face would crease deeper in a smile. It was hot and so quiet and very sleepy. Perfect peace.
Who stays back in the 6th grade? Juvenile delinquents.
She'll have a date for the wedding.
It's not funny.
Speaking of the wedding.
6.5.
What?
That's my ring size. 6.5. Don't surprise me.
Are you sure? Because if you want to come with me.
No, I don't. I trust you.
Okay. I'm gonna go first thing tomorrow. So, what do you want to do tonight?
Well, I happen to have come into some money recently.
Huh?
Buy you an ice cream?
And after the ice cream?
Let's just see how that goes.
Amazing how deceptive calm water could be. The current was vicious. He could feel it tugging at his legs to draw him under. But he was too strong a swimmer to be worried by it. Head down, he slid smoothly through the water, reveling in the coolness, the freedom. When he paused and scanned the... Jillian?
Nurse! I need a nurse! Oh, Jillian. Jillian? Oh, Jillian. Oh, Jillian, Jillian.
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, McCoy's negotiating powers.
আজকে যদি আব্বু আম্মু যদি আমারে যদি বলতো যে সাকিব তুই বিয়ে কর তাহলে আমি
ও তুমি
ডরাইছেন?
ডরাবো কেন? মাগের এরকম আতকা মায়া মনে সামনে চলে আসলে তো একটু চিন্তা লাগেই। আর কালকে আবার তোমার মামার সাথে চ্যালেঞ্জ বইলাইছো, শেষবার মতো চুলদারি আশ্রয় আসতে।
শুনেন, কালকের খেলায় আপনি হারবেন।
বাবা, কনফিডেন্স দেখছো মেয়ে?
যদি না হারছেন তাহলে কিন্তু বললাম এটা দিয়ে আমি আমার হাতে আপনার নাম লিখুন। মানে তো তখনই বুঝবেন যখন এটার দায় আপনার উপর পড়ব। সরেন।
আরে ভাই, নাম লিখবা মানে? কি মুসিবতে বললাম, জিততে না পারে এখন 2 নাম্বারই।
কি করছিস? এটা কি করলি তুই মামা বলতো? শেষ পর্যন্ত ওই হাবলু মামার কাছে।
সরি বলছি তো, মিস্টেক হয়েছে। আর এটা খেলা না, খেলাতে হার জিত থাকি।
এই কথা তুই বলতেছিস? 3 বারের চ্যাম্পিয়ন নিলয় বলতেছে এই কথা, শেষ পর্যন্ত খেলায় হার জিত থাকেই।
হ্যাঁ বলতেছি, এবার হয় না আগামী বার হইব। আর শোন, আমাদের না বয়স বেশি হয়ে গেছে, ঠিক আছে? এখন এটা জুনিয়রদের করা কাম, আমরা অনেক সিনিয়র হয়ে গেছি।
এই দাঁড়া জুনিয়র? হ্যাঁ, কোন অ্যাঙ্গেল ওই হাবলু মামার তো জুনিয়র মনে হলো? কত দেখি। এই কথা শোনার পরে ওই হাবলু মামা সানফ্লাওয়ার তেল মাইরা ঠিক ঠিক করে হাসবো। তুই এমন একটা কাজ করছিস মামা, এলাকায় মুখ দেখানোর মতো অবস্থা থাকবো না।
টাকা দিতেছি, একটা কাজ কর, বোরকা কিনা পিন্দা ঘুরতে থাক, ঠিক আছে? এলাকায় মুখ দেখাইতে হইব না।
দাঁড়া, আমার মনে হইতেছে কেউ তোরে তাবিজ করছে। তুই কখনো তো এই কথা বলার ছেলে না, কি হয়েছে কত?
কোনো তাবিজ টাবিজ কিছু না। আর শোন, আনোয়ারের রহিম বাবুর ছেড়ে আনতে পাঠাইছিলাম, কই হয়?
ভাই আসসালামু আলাইকুম ভাই।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। আনোয়ার কই?
ভাই পাড়ায় কই জানি গেল গা ভাই? কামটা কি হলো ভাই? কালে গেম রাইডা গেলেন?
যাওয়া রইছে। কাজের কথা আসি। লাইলির পার্টিতে কাচ্চি করে দিব।
না ভাই পারুম না, মাফ করে দেন ভাই। আপনার লেগে আমার জান হাজির। ওই মায়ের লেগে আমি ভাই কাচ্চি বাচ্চি রাঁধতে পারবো না ভাই।
তুই কি কই? রহিম ভাই মাথা ঠান্ডা, মাথা ঠান্ডা। তোমাদের ছাড়া হইব না তো বিষয়টা। এমন কাচ্চি খাওয়াই ফিরবো মনে করো 7 দিন যাতে কেউ বাথরুম থেকে বাইর না হইতে পারে। বুঝছো না বিষয়টা? পারো না? যাও এবার রেডি করে গিয়া যাও তাড়াতাড়ি।
একটু বড় খবর হইব।
তোমরা আমগুলোকে বইতা
আরে আমরা তো খাবোই, আগে আপ্যায়নটা করে নেই। পুরান ঢাকার ট্রেডিশন তো আপ্যায়ন করা, কি মামা?
এই তো দুষ্ট লাইনে আইছো, এরকম লাইনে থাকলে তো কোনো সমস্যা হইতো না। খুব তো কইছিল খেলার কথা, এখন বুঝছো খেলা কি?
এখন একদম ক্লিয়ার মামা। আপনার একটু কাছে দিই। আলু দিই, আলু আলু।
না না আলু না, গোস্ত দাও, গোস্ত দাও।
এই যে গোস্ত দিই।
অনেক মজা হয়েছে। এই লাইনে দাও, লাইনে দাও।
আলু
ল ল ল ল লাইলি ল। তুমি লই বানি
খাইতা মজা তো
তুমি একটু খাও।
সবাই আমগুলোকে খাইতা
আরে খাবো তো, খাবার তো আছে।
লোকে খাও।
আরে মামা খান তো, আছে কিছু লাগলে বললেন কিন্তু।
মজা হয়েছে
আসলে
না তুলা গোস্ত দাও।
এইবার লইয়া কয়বার হয়েছে?
ভাই 5 বার।
তোমার এত করে কইছি যে একটু কম কম খাও, মাংনা খাওয়ান পাইলে হুদাই হামাম করে খাও।
দুলা ভাই আমি তো মাগনা খাওয়ান খাই ভাই, আমরা তো বাজেতে জিতছি আর আমি তো পরিমাণ মতোই খাইছি। বিশ্বাস করেন দুলা ভাই, আমি নিশ্চিত ওরা খাওয়ানোর মধ্যে কিছু মিশাইছে। লাইলিও তো পরিমাণ মতো খাইছে, ওরা তো পেট নামছে শুনছি।
হ্যাঁ, মানুষের খায় কাম নাই, তোমার খাওয়ানোর লোকে কিছু মিলাইছে।
ভাই আপনি জানেন না, ওরা অনেক ডেঞ্জারাস, অনেক ডেঞ্জারাস দুলা ভাই। ওরা প্রত্যেকটা ধরে ধরে ফাঁসি দেওয়া উচিত দুলা ভাই। আমি খালি একটু সোজা হয়ে দাঁড়াইলই, তারপর দেখেন আমি রাজপথে নামবো, রাজপথে নামবো, আমি আন্দোলন করবো মগো ফাঁসির লিগা।
যাও যাও, তুমি তোমার কামে যাও, আমি তোমার লেগে কেড়ে বয়ে থাকো।
আপনি একটু বসেন ভাই।
Ý là sao nó không tự làm được ấy. Cho chuồn. Yes, 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 nhà tỷ đô mới rủ cô anh cầm đồ mà chỉ được cái mác của chơi chúng rồi đặt quả trứng này, anh cầm đồ mà chỉ được cái wow wow wow, yes yes sir broccoli, trời ơi cháy không màu. Đi thôi à mày đùa tao. Cái phòng tập tạ đông rất chịu, phòng tập tạ đơn đông loạn mãi vì sao vậy người tao phải vào.
nó chỉ cái gì đấy chúng ta để nhận được tính rebirth mà em ơi, rebirth nó giảm hết sức mạnh mà. Đúng cái nịt rebirth xong còn đúng cái nịt cái cũng ít, sao phải rebirth xong phải nhận sao để bù lại ấy. Sức mạnh này anh áp đi, em áp một cái viết ở nhà em của anh ấy cái 1 tiếng không gọi đi anh nhau ấy mà anh quay sau rồi em vào quay luôn đấy. Qua hôm qua đó hôm qua ấy. Ngày mùng 5 5 tháng 7 binh chi linh có bấm viết mùng 4 không? Mùng 5 chắc chắn 1 tiếng mùng 5 rồi biết có không? Đó cũng bấm 1 tiếng. Đã trổ quá, thích không? Thích mình thích không cho quay chung máy không? Đâu? Cái đấy giờ nó à? Mày đó mày gì? Đâu? Mày cứ vứt luôn chì vào cái trong túi tao khắc áp lại vào sau, tao khắc sửa tao khắc chỉnh sau. Mày cứ áp thẳng vào trong túi, áp thẳng vào vai trọng túi ấy. Ở đây, áp vào đây. Tao áp xong ở đây trước xong tao mới cho vào sau mà. Nhìn biết mà. Wow, ở cái tên file có ngày mà mày nhìn thấy à? Tên các file có ngày 2024-07-03 đấy, ngày đấy. Tao làm chủ biết. Sao thế? Nhưng mà không có biết đâu khác. Không, nhưng mà hình như thế. Phải không nhỉ? Mùng 4 tao quay không? Mùng 4 tao quay không nhỉ? Tao mày mùng 4 quay không nhỉ? Tại tao không thấy. Tại tao lại viết mùng 4 tao mới hỏi. Rồi áp rồi mà áp rồi không? Mùng 3 2 rồi, một cái là tí nhóc. Cái thằng yêu khôi tập rất vớ vẩn nhá. Cái anh đang tập một máy đúng không? Anh tập đủ 3 set trở lên này, 3 hoặc 4 này. Anh đang tập được 2 set rồi, xong nó tập xong một lần máy đấy xong nó đổi máy, nó bảo ê ra chỗ kia đi. Gì? Mày đổi chỗ không? Cái tập một cái một tí thôi. Xong à, đang tập tay đâu mà ra chạy ra tập vụ cơ. Xong tao bảo nó là bảo nó đang học quen lại với máy. Mình biết em ơi, nó bảo nó nghỉ lâu rồi thế nó làm quen lại. Mấy tỷ lợn 140 à? Ok rồi. Thực sự là cái chỗ này cho chỉ các kiểu ấy phải với nhau đét mà anh cái kết bạn. Thằng Tuấn tối nay đi date quốc tiếp về của con Chu Bảo Châu, xong nó bảo anh em ở nhà quay cho anh thì đéo vợ chúng tao tuần tao sao con bảo là tối bận đi quốc tiếp Chu Bảo Châu cái gì mày đùa bố. Không, nhưng mà đi làm cái việc gì sao đúng việc chứ, việc người khác bắt mình làm chôn à? Mày thích không mình làm được không? Xong việc của mình đó xong thì gì? đã đâu lưng sắn. Anh tưởng là anh biết là anh nghĩ là bảo bọn bố ghép mặt xong có tính tiền vít đấy của bọn bố không? Có tính tiền vít đấy là của bọn bố không? Bảo vẫn các bà thích đấy là bọn anh em làm chứ nhỉ? Xuân bố à? Thích hộ không? Em quỷ đấy. 200 rồi này. Rồi anh nhớ lại anh nhặt đồ anh quay chiếu mà cho là dễ tại kéo chơi game này. Mình chơi game này một tiếng lên. Vừa anh đi về xong rồi mấy chút sóc ấy. Sóc đầu ngực kéo chịu. Sóc đầu ngực luôn mà. Và tập xong đi về mới lại sóc về xong nó sóc cả ngực về đau ngực kéo chịu. Anh thấy nó vui gầy lắm. Nó không tắt cân được thật ý, nó gầy vãi. Hay nói nhìn như cái củi tệ. Cái lúc mà tập cái máy áo ngược cái tay nhìn như cái củi ấy, buồn cười nó chịu được. Buồn cười mấy lúc cái tập buồn cười. Hiểu à? Làm méo quay được, làm quay mấy tiếng rồi. Làm méo quay mấy tiếng rồi vô. Cái gì vậy? Ôi, anh rebirth rồi. Của anh là cụ đi gì rồi, anh là vua, anh rebirth rồi, anh là vua được chưa? Tên của anh là vua. Cách làm béo cách farm cực kỳ nhanh là vào tháp infinite cho tài, farm cực kỳ binh chi linh. Vào đây là trước kéo nhau mà, nếu hiểu. Bao nhiêu? 20 phút rồi, anh quay 1 tiếng á. Đúng rồi. Cho nó anh tưởng nó béo đánh liên minh cơ. Sao anh? Vua zero à? Vua zero. Vua ba. Vua ba cô ba có mấy cái chết này đi mua đồ ấy. Mua đồ ấy. Mấy thằng ấy toàn mấy thằng ảo giá thôi, cứ bán sự đắt thì bán như vậy. Anh mua rồi mà anh quỷ chết mà. Anh quỷ chết kiểu đấy mà. Phải đổi xe gói lên tô để xem thằng nào bán giá hợp lý nhất thì mình mua. Còn phút. Ra mình đi farm đồng chị cho nó. Phải chưa? Sao bị mất? Đến hạn đóng tiền sao? Thằng kia nó chưa báo. Thằng anh chưa bảo, thằng anh chưa bảo đóng tiền thì anh chưa chuyển nó phải bảo cơ mà anh mới chuyển tiền. Nó nhắm vào nhóm thì bọn anh chuyển. Nhóm vẫn là cái nhóm ở trong trước bọn anh học academic với nhau ấy. Còn một broccoli Roblox à? Chuẩn đấy. The basic. Giật vào đen. Game này nhìn giống người mà, game đấy mấy thằng người còn nhớ mày còn nhìn giống người tí đỡ cuối vuông. Chẳng qua không qua tu mà. Thằng nào ngắm nhiều ấy. Anh giá hơi buồn ngủ à? Quay được 10 tiếng ngày không? Quay được 10 tiếng ngày không bro? Mày 10 tiếng một ngày. Nổi không? Một nghỉ phát đi sáng không? Được. Đừng chửi được. Rồi mà mình game chơi treo này xong đá được mà mình chạy đi. Nó bảo là phải dùng cái con chuột này để di màn hình, góc màn hình liên tục cái anh đéo. Anh bảo là anh nghĩ là có cái đéo gì vợ ấy trôn múa thỉnh thoảng thôi chứ. Được mà. Có cái Có cái gì rồi mà. Có cái auto click mà gì. Thực ra, không cần đâu, Nam à, mày biết cái phím di chuyển được không? Mấy phím di chuyển ấy, mũi tên ấy, đấy mấy phím đấy cũng xoay màn hình được mà. Mấy phím đấy xoay màn hình được mà Nam. Đó, mấy phím đấy xoay màn hình được mà.